HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Uy, qué bueno está este podcast, pero como que ya hace hambre y se antojan unos faps de McDonald's. Ve por un McTrío McPollo. ¿O McTocino? Elige el McTrío McPollo con papas medianas y refresco con refill por solo 99 pesos. O el McTrío McTocino, que también cuesta solo 99 pesos y también trae papas medianas y refresco con refill. O mejor pide los dos. Elige tu fab por solo 99 pesos. Corre por el tuyo McDonald's. Y ahora sí, sigue disfrutando del episodio.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Having It All podcast. My name is Matthew Bivens, and I am incredibly inspired today. Very happy to have you here with me on this episode, and I would love to talk to you all about mindfulness. We're about a week away from Thanksgiving. I think a week from yesterday is Thanksgiving. And really, I think after Halloween, the craziness of the holiday season kicks off. And for most of us, our engines go from already being an overdrive to like hyperdrive. You know, we turn up the notch on everything. We start going 110 miles an hour. And really for the next 3 months, life just picks up some steam. And so I think with all of that stuff that just naturally happens, it is a perfect time to start talking about mindfulness and really bringing some attention to a series of practices that are all designed to help bring us into the present moment, to help us really become more peaceful. That's what mindfulness has done for me. And so in case you aren't familiar with what the word mindfulness means and how it's different from meditation, mindfulness is about bringing your attention to the present moment. And meditation is one way that you can practice mindfulness. But there are a bunch of other ways as well that you can practice mindfulness. And that's what I'm going to get into on this episode. By the time you stop the episode, press stop, you're going to have a handful of new ways in which you can practice mindfulness, practice being present and bringing attention into the present moment, which is so important. So for me personally, I've had a challenging time developing a meditation practice. And for a long time, I really thought that meditating was truly the only way to practice being mindful. Sitting down, eyes closed, legs in the folded position, hands on my knees, just peaceful. And for whatever reason, I don't know, it's just been hard for me to create a habit around doing that. And I have this belief that, I guess I've seen this out with some of those big ballers, some of those high achievers that I see around on TV and things. People like Tony Robbins, simple one. Folks like Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons is the creator of Def Jam Records and the Fat Farm clothes, and Rev Run from Run DMC. For whatever reason, I had these concepts in my mind of guys like that who start their day off with like hour-long meditation. I remember seeing Russell Simmons on something. I don't know what it was, but he has like a meditation room, like a Zen room in probably all of his many homes that he owns. But it had this dedicated room, pillows on the floor, soft lighting. You probably just like clap and then the Zen music kicks in. But I just had this image of those guys starting out their days with like a 90-minute meditation. And so I equated that with being a successful entrepreneur. And so this comes full circle because having that belief that in order to be successful, you need to have you need to be like a fanatic about meditation and mindfulness. And then here I am very much struggling to create this habit of meditation. That for me was pretty frustrating. HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Uy, qué bueno está este podcast, pero como que ya hace hambre y se antojan unos faps de McDonald's. Ve por un McTrío McPollo. ¿O McTocino? Elige el McTrío McPollo con papas medianas y refresco con refill por solo 99 pesos. O el McTrío McTocino, que también cuesta solo 99 pesos y también trae papas medianas y refresco con refill. O mejor pide los dos. Elige tu fab por solo 99 pesos. Corre por el tuyo a McDonald's. Y ahora sí, sigue disfrutando del episodio.
And, I've tried many different at many different times to get that meditation habit going. But you know what? For me, that just doesn't always work. Now, I meditate, I remember to meditate a handful of times every week. And today actually was a great day for me because when I had this hour block in which I had the house all to myself and I could dive into any task or project that I wanted to, I was able to actually influence myself to go outside, pull out my rocking chair and meditate for a few minutes. And it felt awesome. It really did. But it also felt like I hadn't done that in a long time, so that practice for me of meditating happens less and less. But like I said a few minutes ago, there are other ways of practicing mindfulness. And what I've found is that throughout the day, I'm presented with many opportunities, many scenarios, which happen every day for me, and probably the same for most of you as well, where I have an opportunity to practice being mindful and practice pulling my attention into the present. So here right now, I'm going to list out 4 different activities in which you can practice being mindful. I'm pretty sure that everyone does at least 2 of these things, if not 3. And if you have dogs like me, then you do 4 of them. And so you have an opportunity now to practice mindfulness more times throughout the day. So the first thing is while doing dishes. You have this beautiful opportunity every day for 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how messy or how crazy you got in the kitchen. Because I know for me, I'm going to have 15 minutes of dishes tonight because Sarah is cooking some vegan sloppy joes right now. So I'm excited. But while doing the dishes, we have a great opportunity to just be present. And so what does that look like? For me, I'm a multitasking person. So for me, to be present while doing dishes means I need to turn off ESPN from the TV. I need to take my phone and probably shut it down. Otherwise, I'm going to be very tempted to listen to some sort of podcast. I got to take the needle off of the record because I got a record player in the room right next to my kitchen, and that frequently happens where there's music going on. So just to tune out all of those other stimuli and simply focus on the task at hand. Focus on rinsing the dish, getting the soap, putting it on the sponge, wiping down the dish, making sure that it's completely clean, rinsing it, drying it off. All of that stuff sounds, honestly, as I'm describing it, it sounds kind of boring, but it's an opportunity for you to practice being present. And being present means focusing and just thinking about what you're doing right in that moment, not what you're going to do as soon as you finish the dishes, not what you have to do, because that's normally what happens. We think of what we have to do next, the next sequence of chores, the next sequence of to-dos. So when you're doing dishes the next time, maybe just clean one dish and be present and be mindful as you clean one dish. Start small. But doing the dishes presents you a great opportunity for most of us every day to practice mindfulness. Another area you can practice mindfulness in your everyday life is while folding laundry. For Sarah and I feel like we fold laundry all the time. I think it's like every day we have laundry going on, and we have these 2 white laundry baskets that to me, feel like they're always full of clothes that need to be folded. And most of the times when I'm folding laundry, I have the TV on. I go in the den and I spread the laundry out on the floor, and the baby's running around and the dogs might be in there and the TV is on. And there's all of these things happening that are really forcing me to multitask. I have 10% of my attention on the TV, and I have 30% of my attention on the baby, and I have 40% of my attention on what's happening right in front of me with the laundry. And I'm always trying to do it super fast. I'm always trying to just get through the load, get through everything, zoom, 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 zoom. But laundry presents this beautiful opportunity to sit there and appreciate. For one, I can appreciate the fact that we have this abundance of clothes, that I have these super stylish threads to put together into these great outfits that keep me feeling warm, that help me feel great about myself and how I look. It really is an opportunity to practice gratitude along with practicing being mindful and paying attention to how I roll the socks and paying attention to the way that I fold the shirt and how I create the stack of shirts ready to go in the closet. Laundry is just an awesome, awesome opportunity for us to pull ourselves into the present, remove some of those outside distractions, and just focus on what we're doing. Another one for me, which happens every night, this is the one for the pet owners out there, or the dog owners specifically, is taking the dogs for a walk. Now, here's an area where I've been really great at practicing mindfulness, because Sarah and I live in this wonderful neighborhood just outside of Atlanta, and we have quiet streets, very, very quiet streets. Our Atlanta, if you've never been to Atlanta, Atlanta is a city within a forest. It truly is. If you view the city from above and you go high enough, you don't see anything other than trees. And I absolutely love that about Atlanta. And the further that you get from the city center, the more wooded it becomes. And so our neighborhood has a ton of these beautiful, beautiful, just old, large, these trees are massive, these big old trees. And so our neighborhood is quiet. There's these beautiful trees. There's these wonderful hills. And every night I take our 2 dogs, Watson and Ginny, for a walk. And I used to bring my phone and I used to plug in and listen to podcasts. That was my thing. I would go for my evening walk with the dogs. I would just be by myself for 20, 30 minutes and have my podcast. However, about a year ago, I started to recognize wow, this is a chance for me to just be with myself, just be with my thoughts, just be present in what I'm doing. Because, as a father, you don't get a lot of those opportunities during the day, when the sun's up. You got stuff going on with baby, and, mix in your duties as a spouse and mix in the responsibilities as an entrepreneur and business owner and all of that. And you quickly have your entire day from waking up to going to bed full of stuff. So for me, those 30 minutes are precious. And those 30 minutes are really where I practice a couple of things, honestly. Sometimes I will focus on just the sounds. I'll listen to the birds. I'll listen to the jingle of the dog collars. I'll listen to my feet on the pavement. And I got this goofy ankle, so my ankle cracks. It just cracks like with almost every step, especially if I'm going uphill. So I'll listen to the crack of my ankle. I'll appreciate it. I can appreciate the noises and the feedback my body gives me. And it's beautiful. Sometimes I'll focus on the smells, the smell of the fall air, because there's a certain smell to that cool, crisp fall air. Sometimes I'll just focus on my breathing. I'll put all of my attention around the rim of my nostrils, and I'll focus and I'll pretend that my whole body and all my nerves, everything is attuned to the rim around my nostrils. And so when I inhale, I feel the rush of all the air moving right past the rim. And then when I exhale, I feel all that air go out. So it really depends on how I'm feeling, but I'll take that opportunity when I'm walking the dogs to leave my phone inside, right? Sometimes I'll want to go on the walk even by myself without Sarah. If she wants to come, I might say, hey, I just want this 30 minutes to myself. Whatever it is, because I know that when I am able to get my mindfulness practice in, I become better. I become, when I make that deposit in my own tank, when I make that deposit in my emotional tank, my energy and my vibration rises. And that means I can be a better husband, I can be a better father, I can be better in all the different roles when I make those deposits. So walking the dogs, that to me is an opportunity, and that's the third one. The final activity where you have just phenomenal opportunity to practice mindfulness is driving. When you're driving in the car, and for most of us, driving without any stimulation is the last thing we want to do. For a lot of us, it feels awkward. It can feel awkward to sit in a car that doesn't have a radio on, or to be in a car without having your phone plugged into your ears. Or hopefully you don't do this, but I know some people do. Driving while texting, driving while looking at the phone. So those times you're in your car, it's just great opportunity to just focus on what you're doing. Focus on the road, focus on the sights, focus on the other cars, just taking that time. Because, I live outside of the city. So if if I have appointments and meetings today, for example, I went into the city for a couple of meetings. That was almost a 30-minute drive to get in. 30 minutes in, 30 minutes back. That's an hour of time where I can practice mindfulness. I can practice being present. And you know what's cool about that, about practicing mindfulness while you're in the car? Not only do you benefit, but everyone around you benefits, because you're probably going to be a better driver. You're probably going to be a safer driver, a more aware driver, if you aren't distracted by talking on the phone, listening to music, singing your favorite song belting it out as loud as you can, listening to a podcast. So if you're listening to me right now while you're in the car, I highly recommend you stop. Stop, turn me off. And for the rest of your drive, just be. Practice that mindfulness. Take advantage of the fact that you have this time, because it's beautiful time. I remember when I moved from Gainesville, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia, and I learned what traffic was all about. If you've ever been to Atlanta, Atlanta's got some serious traffic. And when I was in Gainesville, a 20-minute commute was unheard of. 20 minutes would get me from one side of the town all the way to the other, and that's probably bumper to bumper. In Atlanta, you cannot get anywhere in less than 20 minutes. You can't even get to my mailbox in less than 20 minutes. So when I came here, I was like, oh my gosh, this is intense. But for folks like me who, when they go out and they commute, it's 30 plus minutes in each direction. That's an awesome opportunity for you to practice stuff like this. And I know you might be taking advantage of that commute with audiobooks and, sharpening your saw in all these different ways. But, maybe once a week, just practice being present while driving. Turn everything off. Just focus on what you're doing. And see if you don't enjoy it. See if you don't arrive at your destination feeling a little bit more refreshed and energized. See if you can't feel the impact of making that deposit into your tank, being intentional about it. So again, if you're listening to me right now in the car, I invite you to turn it off. Turn off the show. The episode's not going anywhere. It's still going to be in your phone when you arrive. You can listen to it while doing other stuff. But take advantage of it. That's all I'm saying. And so I'll recap real quick the 4 everyday activities where you can practice mindfulness, practice being present. Doing the dishes, folding laundry, walking your dogs, or, hey, if you walk your cats, because I've seen people who walk cats on a leash, do it then. You know what? I actually saw a guy walking a goat. I was at a farmer's market last year, and there was a dude who walked up in the farmer's market with a goat on a leash. Blew my mind. So if you walking goats or pigs or cats, you can practice it then. And then the 4th activity is while driving. Take advantage of what you have every single day in those opportunities to just practice being present. There's so many benefits to creating a mindfulness practice. Even just doing it once, you'll see the immediate impact of you being able to calm things down, quiet down the rush in your mind. I don't know. Google search benefits of mindfulness. There's millions of articles on that stuff. And all I wanted to do today was just present to you 4 opportunities that you may not have been thinking of to practice being mindful each day. So if you have any comments, feedback, questions about this episode or any other episodes, or if you want to pose a scenario that you'd like my feedback on, whatever, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me on my direct email address, mattcbivens@gmail.com. Hope you all have a beautiful weekend. We've got 2 more episodes coming your way to round out this week of podcasting. It's been a lot of fun, 5 days in a row. I'm digging it. So with that, my name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all.